Good morning and welcome to Burns Bible Stories for Kids. We do this each Friday morning at 11 o'clock on Facebook and on YouTube. We're glad you joined us. Today's story, I'm going back to the Jesus Storybook Bible. And since we're now past Thanksgiving and we're really starting to think about Christmas, it's going to be the very first Christmas story called The Light of the Whole World. That same night, in amongst the other stars, suddenly a bright new star appeared. Of all the stars in the dark, vaulted heavens, this one shone clearer. It blazed in the night and made the other stars look pale beside it. God put it there when his baby son was born, to be like a spotlight, shining on him, lighting up the darkness, showing people the way to him. You see, God was like a new daddy. He couldn't keep the good news to himself. He'd been waiting all these long years for this moment, and now he wanted to tell everyone. So he pulled out all the stops. He had sent an angel to tell Mary the good news. He put a special star in the sky to show where his boy was. And now he was going to send a big choir of angels to sing his happy song to the world. He's here, he's come, go and see him, my little boy. Now, where would you send your splendid choir? To a big concert hall maybe? Or a palace perhaps? God sent his to a little hillside, outside a little town in the middle of the night. He sent all those angels to sing for a raggedy old bunch of shepherds watching their sheep just outside of Bethlehem. And in those days, remember, people used to laugh at the shepherds and say they were smelly, call them rude names that I'm not going to mention here. You see, people thought shepherds were nobodies, just scruffy old riffraff. But God must have thought shepherds were very important indeed, because they're the ones he chose to tell the good news to first. That night, some shepherds were out in the open fields warming themselves by a campfire when suddenly the sheep darted away. They were frightened by something. The olive trees rustled. What was that? A wing beat? They turned around, and standing in front of them was a huge warrior of light blazing in the darkness. The bright, shining man said, "Don't be afraid of me. I haven't come to hurt you. I've come to bring you happy news for everyone, everywhere. Today in David's town, in Bethlehem, God's son has been born. You can go and see him. He's sleeping in a manger." Behind the angel, they saw a strange, glowing cloud. Except it wasn't a cloud. It was angels, troops and troops of angels armed with light. And they were singing a beautiful song, "Glory to God be fame and honor, and all our hoorays." Then as quickly as they appeared, the angels left. The shepherds stamped out their fire, left their sheep, raced down the grassy hill, through the gates of Bethlehem, down the narrow cobble streets, through a courtyard, down some steep steps, past more steps, and then past an inn, round a corner, through a hedge, until finally at last, they reached a tumble-down stable. They caught their breath, then quietly they tiptoed inside, and they knelt on the dirt floor. They had heard about this promised child, and now he was here, heaven's son, the maker of the stars, a baby sleeping in his mother's arms. This baby would be like that bright star shining in the sky that night, a light to light up the whole world, chasing away darkness, helping people to see. And the darker the night got, the brighter the star would shine. Thanks again for joining us for Burns Bible Stories for Kids. Please join us again next Friday morning at 11, and make sure you like or comment or share or all of the above. And we hope you have an outstanding week. And Merry Christmas.